If you're still using Excel to budget, you need to stop. Take that spreadsheet out behind the barn and shoot it. Welcome back to another video. I'm Ryan Pinkney, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the EveryDollar app. EveryDollar was the fastest way that I found to stop budgeting in Excel and start using a real app. EveryDollar is an app produced by Ramsey Solutions, which was founded by Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey is a personal finance coach, radio personality, and author. I highly recommend his videos. His channel is one of my favorites, and I have been following his methodology for growing wealth for some time now and have really enjoyed it, and been using EveryDollar for a long time and have really benefited from it. So we're going to take a look at EveryDollar. I'm going to show you guys how to get set up and going, and then give you guys some of my pros and cons. But before we do that, I want to remind you guys to like and subscribe. My channel is very new, and your support is really appreciated as I am a new creator. Let's get to it. All right, so this is EveryDollar. This is what it looks like once you get past the initial setup, which is super easy. There are a couple questions that they'll ask you about your financial goals, but eventually you're going to get to this screen. One thing that I really like about EveryDollar is that it does have a web and mobile app that sync, which is a great feature. I'm only going to be showing the desktop version for you guys today, but just know that everything is pretty similar in the mobile app as well. I also want to point out an important distinction about EveryDollar. It is both a budgeting and expense tracking app, which are two different things. If you're using an app that is just budgeting, I would definitely consider switching to EveryDollar because it has the expense tracking side of it, where you are putting in the different things you're buying and the different expenses during the month. And so you get all that data in the same platform, which is really awesome. There are a lot of other apps that also have expense tracking and budgeting. Some of those are Mint or YNAB, which are also pretty comparable apps to EveryDollar. So I'm going to show you guys now a little bit of how to actually set up your first budget. So as you can see, I don't have anything set up right now. I'm going to go ahead and click Create July Budget and give it a second to load. Once you get this part up, it's going to give you an option first at the top to input how much income you expect to make in the month of July. So just for demonstrations purposes, I'm going to just have one paycheck and I'm going to make $100. Once you put that in, it'll already know and indicate up in the top left-hand corner that is how much you have left to budget. From there, you can scroll down and they have several different categories that are pre-populated. If you're like me, you're probably going to go through and just delete all these and come up with ones that you actually want, which is totally a great option. But just for demonstration purposes, like let's come down and I'm going to put in my rent, and my rent's going to be $50. Once that's already in there, it'll then show me at the top left corner that I still have $50 left to budget, which is great. Eventually, we're going to put some more of my budget items in here. So we'll put water at $10, natural gas will be $5, electricity $5, $10, and just to finish it out, $20. So once you get all your categories set up, it's pretty simple to now do the expense tracking part. To log an expense, you're going to come in here and do the plus sign. Let's say I paid my mortgage, so I'm going to put in my $50 expense. It gives you the option to add a note. So if you want to add something like Capital Apartments, that's great. And then we're going to pick my category, which is mortgage and rent, and hit track expense. Close out of that. Once you have that in there, It will now give you the option to see how much you've spent in this month, which is super nice. And it'll also show you what is remaining to be spent in your budget. If you want to come and see individual expenses that you've logged, you can come here to track, and there we have my capital apartments mortgage/rent that I put in here. So everything that I just showed you is part of EveryDollar's free plan. There is a paid subscription option that will give you access to a ton more different features. Those features are like the insights and goal setting and roadmap features. In addition, you can also get access to financial coaching, which for some may be really important if they're trying to join this platform. The yearly subscription is $80. This seems pretty comparable to a lot of the other budgeting apps that I've seen, like YNAB. So nothing too surprising there about the price. All right, now that I've shown you some of the features of EveryDollar, I want to get in and talk more about my pros and cons. So the first thing I love about EveryDollar is the fact that it's free. If you're like me and you are using an Excel budgeting spreadsheet, EveryDollar is a great way to finally transition onto something that's much more robust and easy to use. I really don't see much value in actually paying for those extra features. They're nice. They have all the bells and whistles, I guess, but really at its core, I need something to help me just track my expenses and to track my categories. So I think EveryDollar fulfills those needs very appropriately. I also am a poor college student, so at least this stage of my life, I don't really see myself paying the $80 to get the yearly subscription, or going to something like YNAB and paying up to $100 for their yearly subscription. I do think that if I were to pay for EveryDollar, the one feature that I would use the most is the automatic expense tracking. If you link your bank and your credit cards, it will automatically bring those expenses into the app and give you the option to then assign them and sort them to the appropriate category. Not a big deal to not have that feature. I've been doing it manually for a really, really long time. I even like that more in some respects because a large part of personal finance, say 80% of it, is actually just the behavior and the discipline of budgeting and tracking everything. If you have everything set up to be automatic, you're not really looking at it as much, and therefore you might not follow your budget. So in my scenario, I think it is better to be manually putting in your expenses, because then you're actually seeing how much you've spent over the course of the month and monitoring it more closely. Second, I love EveryDollar because it is really, really simple to use. There's not a lot of quirks that I thought were really hard to or not intuitive. Everything was really nicely set out, which I tip my hat to Dave and his team for setting up his app to be really easy to use. The last thing that I really love about EveryDollar is that it does have a really good support line. So if you do run into issues with the app, or you do end up paying for the yearly subscription and need help, they're really easy to contact, and that experience is really easy, in my opinion. All right, so take a deep breath. I'm going to start talking about some of the cons and downsides of this app. One downside of the app that I have found particularly annoying is it isn't totally as customizable as I would like. There's one section in particular, the debt section, that for some reason it's just totally built in and you cannot delete it. For me, I'm not currently in any debt, so having this section is just kind of annoying. It gets in the way of what I'm trying to do. So that is one downside. Some of the things are not totally as customizable as I would like. Another thing that is probably a downside for some is, at least with the free version and from what I understand from the paid subscription, There aren't a lot of analytical tools, so if you are more technical and have a data science background and you want to have those tools available, unfortunately, that's probably EveryDollar is not the best platform for that. It really is designed for more of a beginner audience, and so that is certainly a downside. However, all in all, EveryDollar has been an excellent app for about a year now that I've been using it. It has totally fixed and solved a lot of the problems and headaches that I had with having a budget on an Excel spreadsheet. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe below. Just as a disclaimer, Dave Ramsey and Ramsey Solution is not sponsoring this video, but if you think they should, write that in the comments below. And if there's another budgeting app that you've been using and you want me to take a look, leave that in the comments as well. Thank you guys for watching.